You know, and I guess to echo many of the things that have just been said here, I've been on this is my third year on this committee, and the questions I get asked at home after people watch these hearings on C-SPAN, Americans are listening. Americans hear this. Americans are at the table, and the expectation for transparency and accountability has never been higher in this country. And it's been a year since we've had a transfer of secretaries, but the requirements of the American people are enough's enough. And what I get asked when I go home is this question: how do you guys individually not have a gut check on doing right for the sake of right? So Mr. Fry identifies this. He comes and he talks about it, and you were aware of it. You stand under a subpoena in front of a committee that has heard these same stories in just about every area of the VA for 3 years and longer. Mr. Fry talked about having issues longer than I've been here. And didn't you have a gut check when these allegations came up that even though the VA has been operating illegally for all these years, that when it's on your watch, that something in your gut says, you know what, we have to stop this, this is wrong, it's illegal activity? Did that not ever dawn on you that this is illegal activity?
We have we have a group of the Office of Business Oversight that actually goes out and checks these things.
That's not the question. And the question isn't about the work group. Mr. Murray, do you not think that what was going on in the place that you worked was wrong, and that someday, with all the oversight going on with the VA, you're going to sit here under oath with a couple hours' notice, and you're going to say what to the American people? Do you think what happened is wrong?
So, you know, we've spoken to our Office of General Counsel. I've spoken to contracting officials in the Health Administration. There are different views.
What's your view, Mr. Murray? You're employed, you're under oath to stand here and represent the entire Veterans Administration. You're sitting here telling us what? This was okay, you were compliant with it, it's wrong, you knew it, you agree with Mr. Fry. What's your gut say about it?
My gut is that a lot of different parts of the organization have looked at this issue, and that there are different views on this issue.
Mr. Murray, I'm asking you, with all due respect, you're representing the VA today. I have, you know, 750,000 people that pay me to do a job, and the job is to ask you, because America's up to here, right? With many areas. You're sitting here today, and you're saying what? Do you believe this was right or wrong? Are these allegations right or wrong? What does your gut say? It sounds like you're taking the fifth.
What I do know is that 99% of these purchases above $3,000 are prosthetics and sensory aid purchases. And there is ambiguity in those type of purchases, what the controlling legal authority, I think is what they call it, NORB, is. And under the Choice Act, for instance, and I think there's legislation up here now to provide the VA some flexibility on how we procure at least care in the community in this case. So the whole issue to me is that there are differences in opinion from very, very senior people on.
Sir, I understand that. Were you afraid of losing your job if you identified this? Were you afraid of your job security, of raising flags?
I'm trying to give you the I'm giving you the answer that if there were different people at this table, you would get a different.
But I'm not asking the other people at the table, sir. We have an Inspector General who's been reliable. We have a whistleblower who I thank, again, for every whistleblower that comes in here. We're trying to get to the bottom of this to help put the pieces together because we want the VA to work. So my question is this right or wrong? What did your gut say? I'm going to take that as you're taking the fifth. And I guess, you know, Mr. Fry, I want to, again, thank you for the multi-year commitment you've made to this. And our district, obviously, is very active. I'm in the Indiana 2nd District now as well. And we're very active because of the amount of veterans and families we have. But I think that when America sees this kind of response, you know, again, it begs the question from you, has this department that Mr. Murray been involved in, have they done enough to correct this issue? Do you see the remedial steps they've taken as being enough?
Absolutely not. I brought these issues up time and time and time again. Those of us who bring these issues up are scorned, shut aside. For the last 4 years, I have been shelved because I went to Senator Donnelly, then Representative Donnelly, and reported the wrongdoing in the VA. I guarantee you that those of us who want to do right are shoved to the side, and that is what's happened over the last 4 years. But I've got record after record where I've addressed these issues in emails. There are people that have heard me say this, bloviate about these issues in meeting after meeting after meeting, and people simply don't want to hear it.
I appreciate it. I can get back my time, Mr. Chairman.